All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to AdvocateHub Class for December 10th, 2014. It's been a few weeks longer than before because we had to delay our class due to Thanksgiving, but now we're back, and this topic is even more relevant for this time of year. We're going to be talking about theming your hub. You may have seen Adam's tip in the VIP hub, so this is just expanding on that concept a little bit more. And you may notice that the theme around this particular class is Christmas, but as someone mentioned in the comments of VIP that, maybe if you want to go with secular versions, do things a little bit more non-religious, although there's not much religious about what I'm talking about today, but if you do want to do that, today we're going to be talking about the idea of theming your hub, why that's a good idea. So it doesn't matter what theme you go with, but we'll talk about just some ideas around why theming your hub is very helpful. And so if you don't know or you forgot, your teacher today is Don. That's me, your holly jolly support magician. And here's the beautiful picture of myself. And I'm going to be teaching you today about this. So let's first review our lesson plan. So in part one of this class, we're going to talk about why you want to theme your hub. Because what we're doing may take a little bit of time. It won't take that long, but you want to know, why would you even bother spending this time? And in part two, we'll talk about some ideas that I have taken from other hubs around the AdvocateHub ecosystem, and as well as ideas that I've taken from other Influitive team members. And finally, I'll just show you a couple of resources for image editing and where you can get some graphics that will make theming your hub a lot easier. And at the end, of course, we'll have questions. So if you have any questions, wait till the end, and then we'll get to them. So let's begin. So part one, as I said, we're going to talk about why would you ever want to theme your hub. So, but before we get into that, I want to ask everybody a question. So we're going to try something a little bit different. On this page, you'll be able to see a poll. So I want to ask you a question. Have you purchased a holiday Starbucks drink this year? I'll give everybody a few seconds to answer, because this is your answer to this kind of will show me why theming your hub is important, and we'll get to that. So far, we are okay. So far, yes. So by twice as many people have voted yes. So yes, twice as many people have bought a Starbucks holiday drink this year as opposed to those who have not. And so that is the basis of this entire class. So Starbucks, you may not know, every year has different new Christmas drinks, or some of the same ones, but they're not available throughout the year. So why is that important, and why is that relevant? So before we get into talking about your hub, so based on that Starbucks example, why does the retail industry do this? And how do the retail industries handle seasons? Sorry, this is seasons. How do they handle fall, spring, winter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, right? So how do they handle it in the retail industry? Well, if you take a look at this Neiman Marcus lookbook, this is just a repackaging, basically, of a lot of the same content, a lot of the same inventory that they sell throughout the year, but it's repackaged in a new Christmas theme book, right? And the same thing goes for Starbucks. Like I said, you can see we have this Toffee Nut Latte, Peppermint Mocha. So this is more limited availability items at Starbucks, only once a year. Forever 21 clothing stores, right? They have clothing lines that are relevant to the season, so seasonally appropriate. And finally, Reddit does the same kind of thing, or any online store, actually. So you're just repackaging all the normal things that you would have sold, but in the Christmas theme. So we have two things here, right? We have repackaging the same content, and then we have new limited availability content. So we can use that same analogy in our hub, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So first, I want to tell you how this idea came up. And for our American listeners, maybe you don't know what Tim Hortons is. I know there's a few in the States, but this is the most famous coffee shop in Canada. And right now, during the holiday season, they always have, just like Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts probably, they have holiday-themed cups. And this one they have this year has a sweater theme. It looks like a winter sweater. And what our CS intern, Anna Lynn, told me the other day is, I want to buy a Tim Hortons coffee just so I can get that cup, right? Maybe she would have never gone into the store otherwise. Maybe she goes in more often just because it's more of a Christmas theme. So we're kind of thinking about how customers are more inspired to go into a store because of this holiday theme. So you can think of that, how that would work with your hub as well. Okay? And so taking that, let's expand the analogy a little bit more. And this is the last slide where I'll talk about retail, and we'll start getting into the actual hub details. So right now, my mailbox every day is filled with seasonal flyers, catalogs, and marketing material promoting Christmas campaigns for every kind of store there is. Right? These stores are telling me that there's no inventory. Every store has some fall, winter, summer lines, right? They want to promote during that season. Right now, a lot of coffee shops have Christmas mugs you can buy, Christmas gifts, etc. So how can we expand this analogy and actually make it relevant to your hub? So on the next slide, we will talk about how these kind of correlate to your hub. So if you think of those flyers and all of that marketing material, how would that be useful in your hub? So you can think of your challenge notifications as your marketing material. So just like when a store has a Christmas sale on, they send you the flyer to promote their new Christmas sale. And in the same way, if you start theming your hub, make some holiday challenges or seasonally appropriate challenges, then you should send out challenge notifications to get people to come in so that they can be a part of this new Christmas experience, Thanksgiving experience, summer, fall, whatever, right? So think of your challenge notifications as your marketing material. And so then what is your inventory? What is your clothing line? What is your Christmas mug? That is your challenges, your badges, your rewards. So when you're theming your hub, you don't want just to have one or two challenges that are Christmas related. That's good. But rather you should have some seasonally appropriate everything. Challenges, badges, so you can have Christmas related badges, Thanksgiving badges, and rewards as well. And if you make these things limited amount of time, only available for a limited amount of time, that encourages more engagement. We've always found that limited availability rewards and badges actually help to encourage engagement among advocates. So that's a good idea to think about. So let's ask one final question. So to kind of bring this analogy to a close, why not think of your hub as a storefront? Maybe a coffee shop, and maybe a clothing store, and maybe a hardware store. But if you think of it as a storefront, it may make you think about how and why you need to change it up all the time. So ask yourself that question. Does your hub look the same 365 days a year? Then ask yourself the second question. Does a clothing store's decor look the same 365 days a year? Do they have the same clothing lines all year long? No, right? That's boring. Maybe blunt, but if your hub looks the same all year long, it's not going to be as exciting for new people to come in, right? Or the same people who keep coming in every day, every week, every month, they'll see the same thing, and it's not as exciting. So if you think about it, when you redecorate your room, you give your house a new paint job, it kind of feels like you're coming into a new place. It feels good. So think of your hub in the same way. Make your advocates feel like they're coming into a new place every season. It'll give them, more reason to come back. And so let's review. We can summarize this by saying your best advocates, those are your highly engaged advocates, they're always going to come back to be engaged. Those who are engaged by gamification, they love your challenges, they love helping you out, right? Those people are always going to come back. But you need to give others, maybe those who only visit once a week, once a month, once every few months, you need to give them a reason to come back. So if you have a different theme for each season, you can send out those challenge notifications, let them know there's a new theme, and that they should come back. They need a reason to return. So that is the whole point of theming your hub, giving people who might not feel the need to come back a reason to return. And also, making your regular advocates feel like they're coming into somewhere new every day, every season. Okay, so that's good. Now, we're going to go over a few great ideas that I have discovered from around the AdvocateHub ecosystem, like I said, and again, at the end, a few other ideas from the Influitive team. So let's begin with what we're doing in the Influitive VIP. So if you've been in there recently, you would have noticed there is this new Thanksmas experience. So if you know, this is one of the new features that we're going to be talking about today, but why would you want to use experiences rather than just having the challenges in your hub? There's a few reasons. First, when you use experiences, you can have like a holiday leaderboard. So we have the Thanksmas leaderboard, which is only has the top advocates or your position among other advocates for this Thanksmas experience. So it kind of makes you, maybe advocates who are not on the top of the total leaderboard, the all-time leaderboard, it'll make them feel like they have a fighting chance to get on the top of this new Thanksmas leaderboard, or whatever experience you make. So having an experience means you can have a new leaderboard, you can have an activity feed that is seasonally appropriate. It makes things really confined to that season. And finally, unlike cleaning up a Christmas tree, the experience is really easy to clean up. You don't have to worry about old Christmas challenges that you forgot to unpublish. All you have to do is unpublish that experience, and then you're done with it. Right? It's very easy to clean up. So now let's actually look at what Truman and Shivani, I guess, our AdvocateHub VIPs, VIP AdvocateHub administrators, what have they done? So first they made the new logo, right? Then they have the experience. But you'll also notice daily challenges. And daily challenges may be hard to keep up all year round, but if you make daily challenges during a certain period of time, it's a lot easier. And you can also get advocates to come in every day, obviously. So a new challenge opens every day. Your advocates come in to complete that challenge. And of course, if it's a fun challenge, it may not be valuable, but as we have found, when advocates come to do fun challenges, they do other things as well. And if they're coming in every day, that really helps increase the chances that they're going to do something valuable after. So that was our Influitive VIP version, but I also found some great ideas, similar ideas from other customers as well. So this is from one of our customers, Verifin. Their AdvocateHub is called Verifans. They do the same thing. They made a Verifans holiday village. Right? They promoted this. They're encouraging advocates to come in every day to check out their new holiday village. And if you take a look, you can see they have some seasonally appropriate challenges here, the holiday recipe book, some fun challenges, canned or homemade cranberry sauce, what do you like? So these are all fun, seasonally appropriate challenges, and it looks great. When you go into the hub, you can see this Verifan Holiday Village experience, and you're more likely to go in and do something. because it looks so nice. And finally, let's look at Baumgar. Baumgar is really a great customer, and their administrator Liz comes up with a lot of great ideas. So this is one of her best ideas, right? Every year they do this 5 days of Baumgar holiday challenge. And this year they're using our new AdvocateHub Experiences feature so that, like I said, they can have everything confined into this one experience. So advocates can easily find these new daily challenges, right? They have daily challenges just like VIP. This encourages advocates to come back every day, like I said. And Liz, the administrator, she let me know that this has been so successful. Basically, they accomplished all of their objectives within the first day. This is how popular this 5 days of Baumgar contest has been. And this is going to the point about having secular, non-religious holiday themes. This is very, very secular. There's nothing religious about this at all. So you can even go that route. All right. So these are some great ideas. So it's showing you that these have been very successful in customers that are doing it already. And it's not that hard to set up. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, here's just some ideas to consider, right? So you may not know, but we have the new community feature was just released on Tuesday. And this brings a few features that are so much better than the previous community. So for example, you can now link directly to a topic. This makes creating challenges based on a topic so much easier. This was not possible before. So you couldn't link to a topic directly. But now, here is an idea. So first we need to make a challenge to direct someone to the community. Before we couldn't basically just say go to the community and post. But now I've made this worst gift ever thread. I posted a picture, which wasn't possible before as well. And I can direct them directly to the challenge. So a good way, kind of a hands-off approach to having people come into your hub during the holidays is to make some holiday-themed community discussions, some community threads, right? So this will encourage people while maybe they're visiting their home, their family, to come back and join in the conversation. And remember that when someone comments on their reply or their post or the topic, they're going to get a notification. And this notification will bring them directly back to this topic so that it will encourage them, again, to keep coming back into the hub with a very, like I said, hands-off approach. So you don't have to do much. Just set up this thread, something fun, good idea, and they'll keep coming back. And in the same way, you can consider making some community-based badges. With the new community feature, there's a few more things you can do, right? You can make badges, or you can even award perks based on these kind of events. So if someone posted a topic or posted 20 topics, you can give them a badge. Reply to a topic, commented on a topic, liked a reply, or liked a topic. So why not make some holiday badges? Because if it's a limited availability thing, that they have to post 20 topics or 20 replies, which is probably more reasonable, in this holiday period, they will get a special badge. And make this badge only available during the holiday period. Because those who are motivated by badges which are limited availability, then of course they're going to come back and try to get those badges so that they can, after the holiday season is over, no one else can earn it. So that's part of the appeal. Okay. And then finally, this is actually kind of another new feature that I forgot to tell you about. This is we can now specify colors, our own custom colors. So before, you may remember that you could only choose from maybe 10 or so preset colors, but now you can specify your own colors to make your own custom color scheme. So you can see here I've made green and red be my color scheme. So clearly that's a Christmas one, but of course you can change it to any seasonally appropriate color scheme. But the point is that it's completely up to you. You can make the colors different depending on what season it is and what particular holiday that you want to promote. And just finally, before we move on, there are a few ideas that people posted in the challenge on VIP. They mentioned other ideas that are not necessarily related to holidays, but sporting events, sports championship, big movie releases maybe. Depending on your audience, maybe you could have an experience or some themes based on the new Hobbit movie that's coming out, or Star Wars, but that's a little bit too far away. But basically, you can make your theme about anything that's important to your advocates. So it doesn't have to be a holiday. It doesn't have to be a season. It could be anything, some big event that's important to your advocates. Okay, now we're almost done here. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about a couple of resources. So there are two key resources when I was kind of making up some example badges and logos, right? The first one is called iconarchive.com. Now this is very, very useful. They have a lot of pre-made small icons. These are very, as you can see in this picture, I've taken this one from the house, and I just put a little pencil on it. It's very easy. So this is my commented on a topic in the community badge. Right, a lot of these, they're already transparent, they're small, they look great, so they kind of lend themselves to being used as badges anyway. So I'd recommend going to Icon Archive, search for Christmas, or whatever holiday or season you want to make your theme about, and then use those, edit them up a little bit, and you can edit them using, if you don't have Photoshop, you can use this online editor. It's free, it's really easy to use, it's called Pixlr. So you can do all of this in a few minutes, make your badges, make your logos. I'll show you an example logo I made in the next slide, but it's super easy, very fast. So I really recommend using these two things, iconarchive.com and pixlr.com/editor. Unless, of course, you have Photoshop, but I don't have Photoshop, so we can use this. So let's review. To review, consider making all of these things when you're theming your hub. Don't just make challenges. Don't just make badges. You should really go all the way. So make a festive logo. Like this, I made this VIP logo in about 2 minutes today. I took a piece of holly icon from Icon Archive and attached it to the VIP logo. Very quick. And again, these badges that I took from Icon Archive, they look very much like badges as well. But I didn't have to make anything. They're already pre-made. I can just upload them to my hub. Very simple. So make some festive logos, some seasonal badges. You could even have some giveaways, some special rewards for completing the most number of challenges or being top of the leaderboard, but make them seasonally appropriate. Again, we recommend daily challenges, so if you want to have like the 5 days of Baumgar, you have 5 daily challenges, or if you want to do more, have 12 days of Christmas or something. But have some daily challenges that open up every day so advocates will come back. And let's make this all in an experience. Right? Like I said, the experience, you can have a leaderboard that is only for that holiday, and when the experience is done, all you have to do is turn it off. No need to worry about some stray Christmas challenges hanging around in February. And finally, leverage the new community. Create holiday topics or any kind of topic that you think that your advocates will want to talk about over the holiday season. And now that we can link directly to topics, link from challenges to the topic directly. And then give some badges, like I said, based on posting around the holiday season. Okay, so today, that is all we're going to talk about today. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. So Ricardo, our friendly operator, can you tell us how we can ask questions?
Thank you, certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to register for a question, please press the 1 followed by the 4 on your telephone. You will hear a 3-tone prompt to acknowledge your request. If your question has been answered and you'd like to withdraw your registration, please press the 1 followed by the 3. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to ask a question, please use the chat feature located in the lower left corner of your screen. One moment, please, for the first question.
All right, thank you, Ricardo. So you can call in or you can ask a question in the chat. And while I'm waiting, I was just looking through the challenging VEP again, and Michael, he has a good idea for something else you could do around the holiday season if you want to put even more effort. He made a video which is only for his Advocate Hub, and I know a few people have done this as well. He made an ugly Christmas sweater video. So he got members of his marketing team, and they all wore ugly Christmas sweaters. They made a video, and then they shared it in their Advocate Hub as a challenge. Just a fun way, to let your advocates know who you are, to humanize yourself as well. That is another important thing in your Advocate Hub, to let your advocates know who you are so that they are more likely to communicate with you and have a better experience with your company. And it doesn't look like we have any chat questions. Do we have any phone questions?
There are none at this time.
None? All right. So it was a very straightforward lesson today. But of course, if you have any questions about, how can you set up an experience, if you have questions about how the new community works, just email us at support@influitive.com, or you can check out our knowledge base or ask questions in the discussion forums. Or even now, actually, go to vip.influitive.com and head to the community there, and you can have a discussion in the community about this Advocate Hub class. And if you have any questions about, theming your hub or ideas about that in general. So I guess that is all for this week. I'm not sure if we probably won't be around next week because it's Christmas Eve. So I guess next time we'll see you will be likely after the New Year, but don't worry, I will send out any notifications about when the next class is going to be. All right, everybody, happy holidays and Happy New Year.